Thank you, Roger. Well, I'm very pleased to be here this morning with our administrative directors. I'd like to ask them all to please stand. With me on stage is Jennifer Riggs, Administrative Director of Women's Services, Imaging, and Cardiovascular Services. Simply put, without this team and the staffs they lead, we wouldn't be here today. That's no exaggeration. Without their commitment to excellence in operations and always striving to improve the quality of the patient care and in making sure our patients have the best experience possible, we couldn't take on this exciting new venture. In a time when hospitals across the country and the state are feeling a financial crunch, I'm happy to report that we're going on our third year of exceeding our financial goals. It's a tribute to these hardworking and dedicated folks and their ability to be agile, creative, and make adjustments along the way. They've had to balance finances, patient satisfaction, quality outcomes, which is no small task. And they do it every day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. No matter how many times we went back to this group and challenged them to figure out yet another action plan to allow us to hit our goals, there were no complaints, ever. They just put their heads down and figured it out. To a person, they've been involved in the design of the new hospital, which itself is a full-time job. Each bringing his or her expertise to the design of every inch of 640,000 square feet. They enthusiastically embraced the project, and I'd like to introduce Jen Riggs to say a few words about her involvement.
Thank you, Chuck. Good morning. It was about a year ago that the administrative director team was asked to take a lead role in the design process. We knew that it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to create what will truly be a place of healing for our family, friends, and neighbors now and into the future. Over the last 9 months, we've had countless meetings, starting with what department should go where, and more recently, design details right down to where the light fixtures and light switches will go and medical gases. Every one of these meetings was attended by employees and physicians that work in those departments. They came faithfully and still come faithfully every 2 weeks, whether they were working or not, and we could not have done this without them. They helped us think outside the box, to not think about what we have now or how we work now, but to think about how we can design a space and improve processes that will create the best experience for our patients. They focused not only on our current patients, but looked beyond to ask what will be the needs of tomorrow, the needs of the more than 1,200 babies born every year at Maine General. For all of our employees and all of our physicians, I'd like to take just a moment to say thank you. By always asking these questions, always pushing the envelope, and thanks to the involvement of our incredible employees and physicians, we are confident that we're making this hospital the absolute best for the region.
Thank you, Jen. I can remember back in August when, after countless meetings with the architects and the construction folks, Jen and the other administrative directors presented their floor plans for approval. The excitement in the room was contagious that day. It was very clear that they had spent a lot of time and effort to try and get everything just right, to address every little detail, to make sure our patients would not only be well cared for, but would have the ability to heal in a welcoming, soothing, and comfortable space, surrounded by views of nature, and where wayfinding is convenient and makes sense. In all, more than 250 employees and more than 25 physicians participated in the design of the new hospital. When you want to get it right, who better to include than the folks who are delivering the care and the patients who are receiving the care? Last year, we formed the hospital's first ever Patient and Family Advisory Council. It's made up of patients, their family members, and some frontline caregivers. They've also played a role in the design. This summer, they test drove mock-ups of the rooms and gave us their valuable feedback of everything from let's incorporate more space for the patient's belongings to including a larger table so that the family could have dinner together. That's just one example of how they have and will participate in the design process over the next several months. To the council members, we're grateful for your help. To our staff, those who are with us here today, and those who couldn't be but are watching on a live feed that's going out to our locations, all our locations as we speak, we want to thank you also. The staff is really why we're here today, and it's an exciting time in our history. Let's enjoy the journey together. Now I'm happy to introduce Greg Powell, Chairman of the Alfond Foundation, and Mark Johnston, President and CEO of the Kennebec Savings Bank, who is also leading our capital campaign. Greg is the Chief Executive Officer and President of Dexter Enterprise, where he also serves as a director. In 2005, Harold Alfond appointed Greg as chairman of the foundation's board of trustees. He knew Harold Alfond since childhood, and in 1996, working with Harold, founded Dexter Enterprises. For more than a decade, Greg worked closely with Harold Alfond on all of Harold's charitable projects in Maine and other states. Mark Johnson is as well known as a community leader as he is a corporate leader of the Kennebec Savings Bank. He is once again chairing our capital campaign. Just a few years ago, Mark chaired the very successful campaign for the Harold Alfond Center for Cancer Care, which raised more than $16 million for more than 3,500 individuals. He is also very familiar with the concept of regionalization and the need to expand beyond the borders of one community. Under his leadership, the bank has opened branches in Waterville, Winthrop, Gardner, and Manchester. Please join me in welcoming both Greg and Mark.
I don't know whether it's possible or not, but we got all these construction guys out there. Why don't you come on in to the tent? What a team. Up, down, sort of like the stock market. Well, good morning. On behalf of the Harold Alfond Foundation, Peter Alfond, Bill Alfond, Larry Pugh, Bob Martin, Peter Lunder, members of Harold's family, we're honored to be here this morning to mark this very special occasion. Harold Alfond was an athlete, a businessman, and a philanthropist, in that order. As an athlete, he knew the vital importance of teamwork. And as a businessman, he knew the importance of investing with efficiency, creativity, and hard work to make products of good value. And in philanthropy, Harold sought to apply the principles of teamwork, efficient investment, creativity, and hard work to improve the lives of Maine people. He wanted Maine people to have the best, and he knew that in a state of 1.3 million people, and in tough times, excellence is best achieved by bringing people and communities together. What we have just heard from our program speakers this morning, and what we will see this morning and in the months ahead in the fields around this special place, exemplifies those principles in the finest of ways. What the people of MaineGeneral and all of its supporters have done to get us to this point, and what I am confident we will do in the future, will mark the triumph of excellence over mediocrity. In May of 2010, 16 months ago, we gathered here at this special place to announce a $35 million challenge from the Harold Alfond Foundation. Our challenge went out to the whole MaineGeneral team: executives, staff, doctors, nurses, medical staff, businesses, community and government leaders, patients and supporters throughout Maine. Since that beautiful day in Maine, you, all of you, the MaineGeneral team, have met our challenge on every front. You won a certificate of need, of approval for the largest healthcare project in the state's history. You assembled the finest of designers and builders. You obtained financing in the bond markets without indebting Maine taxpayers. You secured funds to build highway access. And under Mark Johnston's leadership, you will raise the remaining dollars of our $10 million matching commitment in the months ahead. We were privileged to stand before you in May of 2010 to announce our challenge. Today, we are inspired by your success and more confident than ever in your future. Let me close with a thought I shared with you those 16 months ago. In the final years of his life, as his 15-year battle with cancer was coming to an end, Harold Alfond could have gone anywhere in the world to be treated. He chose to be treated by the men and women of MaineGeneral. He chose you because you are the finest, and he chose to be in Maine because the people who live here are the best and deserve the best. We know that 3 years from today, there will be a beautiful new hospital on this lovely site. It will have been built by and for the people of Maine whom Harold Alfond loved. It will have been built by an extraordinary team with a vision. A team who saw yesterday's town lines as today's gateways to excellence. When that beautiful new hospital opens its doors, the finest of healthcare professionals will be providing the finest of care in the finest of hospitals. And as I said in May of 2010, somewhere, Harold Alfond will be beaming with pride. Thank you all. I have the pleasure of introducing Mark Johnston, and I guess everyone in this room heard that he is the chairman of the Capital Campaign. Well, my fellow trustees and I and members of the Alfond family didn't want Mark to lose a minute in his fundraising opportunities, so I have for Mark this morning a check from the Harold Alfond Foundation for $8.3 million.